Good evening, everyone. This is Lynn from Paper Peas. Today, we're going to work on a little fun project. Ever wonder what you can do with those papers that come in our wonderful orders from officesupply.com? Yes, you could take and reuse them for your own packaging when you sell your own products, but here's something else that can be a little more fun, different, exciting, useful in your journals or your planners, regardless as to what type they are. What you'll need today will be your packaging from officesupply.com or a similar packaging or brown paper bag or whatever paper that has a little weight to it that you prefer to use. Water. You're going to need some hair conditioner. Yep, hair conditioner. And good old-fashioned Mod Podge. Once again, you're going to need your paper, hair conditioner, Mod Podge, and some water. Let me show you what we're going to do. First, we're going to examine our sheets packaging paper from officesupply.com. If there are any rips or tears, we're going to avoid using those pieces of paper. Now, what you can do is, where there is a rip or tear, if it's not too significant, you can cut on it. But if it looks as if it's going to be something that's going to eventually go across the entire page, we are going to avoid using that, okay? I'm just going to cut this little piece off here. And yes, that's going to give me a little waste of paper, but guess what? It's already packaging, right? It's a wonderful free piece of paper that we're using. Well, it's not free, but you know. But we're going to, like I said, we want to examine our paper. We're going to cut across, breaking it down, because it's typically a very large amount of wrapping paper, and it's much more manageable when we break it down to use. And here's another thing too, it's good to have multiple sizes. Now, even if you come across pages that are like distort like this, you still can take and use them. Let me show you how. It really is going to be a matter of your personal preference. I got paper everywhere. It's going to be a matter of your personal preference. But let me set this to the side. So I'm going to come back. Let me cut this so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here's a good starting point on each edge of the paper. You just want to kind of get rid of all the ruffles. But even if there is a tear somewhere in the bottom or middle or something like that, what you can do, if you choose to use this, this is what I do. Sometimes I just take and fold it over. Like this. This has a little, each one of them, there's like a little rip up here, a little rip down here. So to incorporate it in my journal or a planner, here's what I do. If it's, can't use that. So I just come right down here at the bottom or wherever it is, and I just cut it off. Come back up here to the top. There's no level of perfection with this, okay? We're already using pretty much mangled paper, right? I just cut it off. I just want to make sure that whatever I'm using doesn't have any true visible rips or tears within it, okay? As I mentioned earlier, it's nice to have multiple sizes of this because you can use it to be the cover for a journal or your own personal planner. You can use this to be pages within your journal or planner. You can use it to make your ephemera. What I'm going to do is just start literally balling these up. Just ball them up. Now, I have that I've already started so that you'll know this is a mass project for me. And I've already taken the liberty to cut down a lot of the pages that I've had out of some of my orders. And I've already balled them up. So this is what I'm working on at the moment here. As you can see, I have a long sheet. This can either go inside your journal as pages, or it could be a cover. And when I say pages, naturally, after we finish with this, we would have to line it with something to write on to make it more usable. So now I've got a few sheets here, different sizes. What I'm going to do is go over to my sink and I'm just going to wet each one of them as they're balled up right now, okay? I'm just gonna wet them so that they can be not saturated and soaked with dripping water, but wet enough to be able to marry with the conditioner and the Mod Podge that I'm going to use in a minute. As you can see, I'm using my silicone mat today, which even if I wasn't doing this on my counter, I think that the silicone mat itself is best when you're working with this type of stuff. So my mat is a little wet, and I'm okay with that. So now what I'm going to do is, once again, I have this Pro Silk Salon moisturizing conditioner. I got this from Dollar Tree. There's no need to go and buy the most expensive shampoo, the most expensive conditioner, because you're gonna do just use it on some paper, okay? So I got this from Dollar Tree, and I have used this before. I'm not gonna completely unravel these, just a little bit, just enough. They're not drenched, but they are wet, okay? I'm going to take and put conditioner in my hand, literally in my hand, okay? And then I'm just going to coat it. Some people prefer to do a mixture. For me, this is easier. Here is this little piece. We're just gonna use a little bit of Mod Podge. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Just go over it. Mod Podge is a sealer. It's going to help seal all those things together. We don't want it tacky. We don't want it too sticky. We just want it manageable and able to be used, okay? Okay. So like this page here, this is fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna take just a little bit. I mean, literally, just a little bit. Let's go over this. Very lightly. If you apply too much pressure, it's going to tear the paper, okay? So you just want to just lightly, gently. And because it's wet, it's going to give you a good slick glide. Once again, the more wrinkled your paper is, the better off it is. And you got to think about it too. I got to take this up so I can do the other ones, right? Okay, so here we go. Just gently. I took the liberty of placing these under my heating lamp so they could go ahead and start drying a little faster. I really want to give you an idea of how something so simple can turn out to be something really pretty and useful in your planners and your journals. Okay, as you can see, this is how the paper turned out. It has some texture to it. Now, it does have a couple of little spots where, that's on me. So now what I'm going to do is purposefully distress the paper. I'm going to use my Wendy Beachy's Fern Green and potting soil. I just want to give the paper a little more definition. And this helps to raise its color schematic a little bit. So I hope you can see this. We don't just beat all on the paper, but these little curves and those cracks and those wrinkles really do allow us to be able to let the beauty of the paper itself come through. And you can see it starts to look like cracked leather. And the more wrinkled the paper is, those are really like the highlight points that you try to hit when you start to distress it. Because I like to make a lot of these and just have them available and ready when I get ready to work on certain projects. I purposefully chose not to put any Mod Podge on the other side of the paper. All of it basically is held together anyway. But in order for me to make this paper writable on the other side, or if I decide to adhere something to the other side, I wanted to have that matte effect as opposed to it just being completely glossy, which is another one of the reasons why I elected to not use so much Mod Podge on here. Now, if you're starting to see it a little bit, it's starting to give off a little more rustic look than just, I say a rustic, more polished look than just a bunch of crumbled up paper. As artists, this is one of the things we enjoy doing. That's what makes it so fun for me. And just standing alone, no, it doesn't probably look like a lot. But if I was working on a journal right now that I wanted this to be the cover for, I could take and fold this. Add some spine. See how this is kind of turning a little bit? See the effect that we're starting to get right now? And I'm going to go back over it a little. See, these are a little more permanent. I'm going to go back over it in a few minutes with a little more. I'm going to distress this more. This video really is just about technique for me. And I hope you enjoy what you're seeing. Because if you're interested in doing this, at some point in time, you might find yourself just playing around. See how this paper has the whole tone and color of it has now changed. See the other side here. It's very rustic. It has the ability to be written on, and things can still be adhered to this. If I was getting ready to make this a sheet of paper or something, I can just fold it over like this. Take my little edges here. You don't have to do this for every sheet naturally, but you know, when you're working on it, I just want to show you the possibilities. See how it's kind of aging a little bit? This is what we started out with, and this is where we are now. I think it's beautiful. I really do. Look at this. So, if this is something you plan to try to work on, again, it's just, you know, look at it. It's just, to me, it's just gorgeous. Here's what we had. Here's where we are. And all of this just came from our officesupply.com packaging paper. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial this evening. Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me. If you'd be so kind, please like, share. You know I want you to subscribe. And most importantly, stay safe and come back and see me. Thanks so much.